Hey Disney friends, it's Amber with Mickey Travels. There are so many extras to do while at Walt Disney World, including golf, renting boats, but one thing that I love to do at least once every time we do extended trips there is to visit a water park. Disney has 2 water parks, and so what I want to do today is kind of talk to you about each of them, explain to you the pricing and how you can get into those, and just give my overall review of both of them. We are huge water park nerds, so we do typically like to go to a water park whenever we vacation. So I'm hoping this is going to be helpful for you when considering if you want to take a day or two to step away from the theme parks and go to the water park. So stay tuned.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
Again, like I had mentioned, there are 2 water parks at Walt Disney World, Typhoon Lagoon and Blizzard Beach. Both are themed really cute to go with either a melting ski resort or an island that had just been hit by a typhoon. So let's go over some of the basics first. How much do they cost? There are 2 ways that you can pay for the water park option. You can buy the individual day tickets on the Disney website for $69 per day per person. Now, if you have park hopper tickets in a Disney World package, you can actually add the plus option to your tickets, making it only about $20 to add that option on and have water park access for the entire length of however long your tickets are. So let me give you an example. Say I have a 7-day park hopper ticket on my package. I added the park hopper plus to it. That means I can go to a water park, the golf course, miniature golf 7 times because I have 7 days of tickets. So I could do a water park 7 different times if I wanted to with those tickets. It's pretty awesome and a good deal. But if you think you're only going to visit a water park 1 time, then more than likely, and you have regular base tickets, more than likely it's going to be cheaper for you to buy the 1-day ticket. You can't add that ticket to your package. You can only add the Park Hopper Plus option. They also offer a ticket option for an annual pass for just the water parks if you are close to the area and you have the regular annual pass. You can purchase for $139 a year a annual pass for just the water parks. So now I'm going to go into each of the water parks and kind of describe to you some of the attractions there and some of the really cool things that you can do while visiting. So I have been to Typhoon Lagoon twice. I went when I was in high school traveling with my family, and then my husband and I went again a few years ago. So we have experienced a lot of the new stuff that they have built in place there. But for me, what I can remember is that it is very similar to when I was there a long time ago, except I do believe they've taken out where you can swim with the sharks and the sea life. I don't believe that is there anymore. Okay, so my favorite thing at Typhoon Lagoon, and in fact probably with both parks together, is they do have a wave pool they call a surf pool. So what a wave pool is, and I'm sure you know, is every 5 or 10 minutes or so they bring in huge waves and people just float on those. The pool is huge. It's great. Probably one of the most crowded things there. Just a little side note, I did lose my magic band in the wave pool. So you need to either put it in the bag when you jump in or just make sure it's on tight enough. Okay, so some other really cool attractions they have the Crush in Gusher and the Humunga Cowabunga, and then they have a lazy river that goes all around the park called the Castaway Creek. Where do you store your stuff when you're there? They do have locker rental available, and you can have tables and umbrellas that are right by the wave pool. However, those are first come, first serve for the tables and chairs. So if you want to guarantee a spot, they do have rentals that you can do per day for either a cabana or chairs and a table. So for an umbrella rental, you can do 2 loungers, 2 beach chairs, a drink table, and towels for 4 people. Or you can do the step up where you can rent a little cabana, which they call a beachcomber shack, that includes towels, a cushioned seat, a locker, refillable mugs, and a cooler filled with water. So the cabanas, or the polar patio as it's called at Blizzard Beach, is around $300 a day, and the umbrella and chair rental was about $40 to $50 a day. Something else to note with these rentals, they are not right by the main pool. You can't see the main pool from where they're located. They're often secluded off to the side in a sandy area where you have to have special access to get back there. So you are actually alone and sequestered, which is really nice to have a private area, but you can't see the main action. You'll have to walk around to get to that. Overall, between the 2, I feel like Typhoon Lagoon is not as popular as Blizzard Beach, so something to consider for crowds. The Humunga Cowabunga and the very large slides do have pretty long waits in the summertime. Blizzard Beach is a melting ski resort, and so everything is themed to snow that is melting into pools. And there's snowmen, and there is a huge ski jump, and even you can ride the ski lifts across it. It is super cute. So some of the main attractions there, Summit Plummet is the huge water slide that goes straight down. Toboggan Racers, where you can race with your friends down water slides. The chairlift, and another lazy river called the Cross Country Creek. And then they don't have a wave pool, but they do have a main pool that features some kid attractions, like they have little icebergs floating and you can like race across it with a rope on top, and that is called Melt Away Bay. So they also feature the same type of thing where there are tables located first come first serve around the main pool, but you can rent cabanas and umbrellas and chairs also through them. They also have what's called a splash pack, which is something you can add on to your package of already buying the tickets. So for $44 a person, you can get food and beverages included, and they are select, so it's not just any restaurant you can go up to. You get a refillable mug just for the water parks, and you get a Disney towel to keep. So if you price it out it's going to save you a little bit of money depending on how much you think you'll eat at the water parks. Also, side note, they do accept the Disney dining plan at most of the locations at the water parks. We've used our dining plan there, and they have quick service locations. So both with the water parks, the hours typically in the summertime are going to be 10 a.m. to about 5 or 7, depending on what time of year it is. So 5 p.m. is usually in the spring and maybe fall, and then 7 p.m. in the summer. Be sure to check the refurbishment schedule often, because a water park usually in the winter will be closed for refurbishment and only one of them will be open. Also during the summertime, for the past 2 years, they have offered a brand new like after hours glow party they call HTO Glow Nights. And this is at Typhoon Lagoon, and it's been themed to Toy Story both summers that they've had it. So it's a glow party. It's a separate entry fee. It's about $59 to do that. You're gonna have shorter wait times on a lot of the attractions. There's gonna be a DJ playing music, Toy Story characters that you can meet and greet, and then limited time food offerings, including alcoholic beverages that are themed for summer. Some really cool ones that is the only place you can get them. There also is an area just for adults to kind of drink their beverages and kind of dance and have their own area too. So that's kind of neat, having the kids. There are lifeguards on duty, obviously, at both places all the time, but sending your kids to go swim if you'd rather go have a little adult time. All right, there are some extra features that offer in the morning time when they aren't open yet. So they do provide surf lessons and then private lessons if you want to learn how to surf. So there's no park ticket required to do these surf lessons. You just have to pay the fee to do the surf lesson itself. It looks like you can do a 3-hour session for $190, and those are for people that are 8 and older, and parents can watch for free. Now, there is a private session that is for $1,100, where it is breakfast serve. You can add on lunch if you want. It's private just to yourself, and you can have up to 25 people in there. You want to book that early. It does book up very quickly if you want to do a private surf lesson with a bunch of people. How do you get to the water parks? So this is now changing. It is now a direct service to the water parks. It used to be where you had to go to Disney Springs and then to the water park, or Animal Kingdom in a water park, and the buses at your resort would say on top of the bus where you were going. So it wasn't too complicated, but now they do have direct service. So there will be multiple stops at many of the resorts. We know the moderates have multiple stops, but the values and deluxes usually just have one stop, and you will see a bus direct that is just for that water park. If you are staying at a moderate resort, the buses will only actually stop at the main resort for the water parks. So if you are maybe in the back of Caribbean Beach, make sure you make your way up to the front, because the bus will not go to every single stop for those resorts. Overall, going to many different water parks all over the country, I feel like Disney's are very clean, very safe, tons of lifeguards around. The lines are a little long in the summer, but the attractions are great. And it is a nice half-day attraction that you can do to kind of get away and relax from being in the parks all day. Maybe it's something you can do if you're doing like a Mickey's Not So Scary or Very Merry Christmas party in the evening, go to the water park in the morning and kind of get away from it. Yes, all the Disney resorts do have pools, and I do have guests ask, is it worth it to go to a water park if I have a fantastic pool? That's up to you. If you're a water person, I totally love going to a water park and swimming in a pool, so I would do both. As Disney is always changing, be sure that if this video is a little dated when you're checking it out, that the prices have not changed. I know the surf lessons, the information that I was getting was a year old, but I'm pretty sure that they are still doing the private lessons, and they do have the cheaper one available that is for shorter times and is more open to a bunch of different people. Yeah, as far as prices getting into the water parks. Some tips that I have found. So you can, again, rent a locker there. You can get towels. Because we rented one of the umbrella chairs, we got towels included, so we didn't have to bring our own, but you do need to bring your own if you are not going to be purchasing one of those extra packages. They do have showers available, plenty of restrooms. The pavement, it is mostly pavement. There is sand, but it can be very hot, so be sure that you have those water shoes. Those are the ones that we like. They did require us to take those water shoes off on a majority of the slides though. So they do want you to be barefoot, but I have very sensitive feet and my feet get really hot on pavement. So just something to keep in mind, that there was spots of hot pavement around. Our favorite thing was the lazy river and the wave pool specifically. We just like to relax, get some sun, and float around. And we did notice that the lazy river was just a really easy access. You may run into people here and there, but overall, since it was ongoing and flowing, we didn't really notice that many people in it. I hope this was helpful in your decision to decide whether or not to go to one of the water parks at Walt Disney World. If you have any other questions, please let me know. My information is below, and I would love to help you plan your future vacation or your current vacation to Walt Disney World, Disneyland, Disney Cruise Line, Adventures by Disney, Alani, etc. Have a magical day. I will talk to you soon. Bye.